Welcome to the video edition of Arts and Times, the Tri-County Arts Calendar. Each quarter, we highlight regional artists who work and exhibit in our area, as well as some of our must-see cultural and natural attractions. Pete Cosby is a country lawyer by day and oil painter by night. What began as a leisurely diversion has blossomed into a passion.
Once you get a painting flowing, time is irrelevant. I usually paint at night under artificial light, which is not particularly good, but that's my lifestyle. And so I'll paint sometimes till 2 or 3 in the morning, and then I'll just go to work at 9:30 instead of earlier.
Pete channels his love for the outdoors and for the history of Eastern Shore life on the water into his art.
I most definitely gravitate towards water and boats. I rebuild antique boats. It's another hobby. I own 6 boats, and I'm always in the various stages of rebuilding an old boat. This is bringing the pots in at Yule. I was riding my boat around Yule, and these guys were unloading, and I just took a picture of them unloading, and I got many photographs on that morning. The bay was glass smooth, and the sky melted right into the bay, and it was magnificent. I got a lot of paintings out of the pictures I took that day. In fact, I woke up on the south end of Smith Island that morning. I probably woke up about 6:30 in the morning because I heard some engines around me, and I woke up and poked my head out of the cabin, and there were a bunch of scrapers, all these old work boats all around me, and one of the guys who was close looked over and said, "Get out of the way, we're trying to scrape over here," and he was just laughing. But there were about 6 or 7 really nice old boats all around me. I woke up to them, got some great pictures. It was a great morning. I love boats in the water. I've been around it all my life. I've lived in Virginia. I hang out in the Rappahannock River. I sail. I have 3 sailboats. I love the water. And water and sky are the 2 things I like to paint because they're 2 things that are finally figured out. Getting the fine modifications between paying attention to where the light is. For instance, in this painting, if you're going to paint good water, the first thing you have to figure out is where's the light. You'll read it in every art book, but you glib over it. I always glibbed over it. It took me miles of painting before I finally accepted the fact, pay attention, where's the light?
Oils are Pete's preferred medium.
Oil is very forgiving and much more easy to work with than acrylic. A lot of people don't know that. If you take the time and you can put up with the smell of the chemicals or get the odorless terpenoids and start working in oil instead of acrylics, you'll go a lot further. And the way I've evolved to do it is have 2 or 3 paintings going at one time. So you can pick the stage of a painting you feel like working on today. Do you feel like doing a more early stage painting, or you feel like finishing something off? And then you just have those paintings to pick one. Okay, I'll work on this one tonight. I sketch at least something to make sure my composition is going to work. I've learned through hard failure that if you don't think through your composition before you start, you're going to waste a lot of time. In fact, Lynn Lockhart is a master of composition, and she's saved many of my paintings coming over and saying, "This is wrong, get rid of this," because I didn't think it through. So take the time to think through your composition and draw at least enough lines to have it worked out on the major forms. With painting boats a lot, they're being so detail oriented, I do generally sketch out a lot of the structure before I start, at least on the boat part. The water I'm more flexible with. Sometimes I'm painting from imagination, as in this painting. I used a picture to get the position of the boat, but everything else is made up out of my own mind. Especially with water, I like to make it up.
Pete is mostly self-taught, beginning with copies of Impressionist masters. He has also had the good fortune to be mentored by some of the area's most accomplished artists.
It was about 50 years old when I finally got into painting in oils a little more seriously. And that was largely because I became exposed to Lynn Lockhart and Kirk McBride, who moved into my old house next door, and they were artists, and I was thrilled to death, and they took me under their wing and taught me how to paint. So between them and Patrick Henry and other artists around the area, they took me under their wing and taught me some of the ropes, and I'm very fortunate. And I think we're very fortunate to live in this area where there is a strong movement towards a meaningful and varied art community. I feel blessed to live in Berlin.
Pete's philosophy of art draws from the drive to be productive and to serve something greater than himself.
It is truly a high point in life when you have the paint and the painting working, and you are painting mindlessly, and it's all working. I paint because I want to give something beautiful to the world. We are God. I believe we are God. At least that's my theory right now. Let God flow through you, because the essence of God and the essence of man is creativity. I don't buy this thing that painting a picture is the only art there is. Life is art. if you let it be. That's where I am.
Pete's powerful seascapes and scenes of boats and watermen can be seen at the Water's Edge Gallery in Berlin and Bishop's Stock in Snow Hill. Thank you for watching this edition of Arts and Times. This Moonshell production was funded by the Worcester County Department of Tourism. Eat, Drink, Buy Art on Maryland's Eastern Shore. Visit eatdrinkbuyart.com to find out about 9 towns where great food goes with great art, all produced locally. You'll have a terrific time and take home a work of art you will always treasure.